Hello YouTube, Flightsimguy here. I am at KMIA, Miami International Airport in South Florida, my old stomping ground. I am in A2A simulations, Cessna 182 Skyline. If you're into simming, okay, and you're into GA aircraft, there is no other. I mean, this is just the gold standard. I mean, they do aircraft better than even P3Dg. So, all right. So what I'm gonna do is I bought Latin VFR's scenery for Fort Lauderdale International, Miami International. I'm at Miami. I'm gonna go ahead and head north, flight to Fort Lauderdale. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna talk about some recent flight simulation developments. I'm telling you, man, now is the golden age of flight simulation. Now is the best time to get into simming. Alright, so before we go any further, let me go ahead and get this bad boy going. I didn't bother with a taxi. I'm at the active runway. Also, this is P3D version 5 hotfix 2, but I'm not running Active Sky because their beta, whenever I install it, it breaks the Active Sky for 4.5. So I'm just using the Orbix stock weather that you get when you download the Orbix Global FTX textures, and they work out pretty good. I really like them. So let's go ahead and get this plane going. Alright, let's see here. Parking brake is set. Fuel is on both. Let's do forward to this, bring this back here. Let's go ahead and get some juice going. We'll go ahead and get rid of that. Turn on nav, beacon, primer engine. Open the throttle a little bit. Open up the window and we yell clear prop. And then we crank. Listen to that Lycoming engine purr. Ain't that a beautiful thing? Avionics on. Damn, I forgot to put gas in. There. Didn't realize I can fuel it in process or in flight. Alright. I'm not going to bother getting an ATIS. I know what the ATIS is for this particular weather theme. So let's go ahead and take off. I'm running my CPU a little bit warmer. I'm overclocking it a little bit so I can get better frames. And at the same time I'm running OBS. So I'm not sure if I'll make it through. Keep our fingers crossed. Okay, our trim is good. Let's get going. Okay, let's get into the air. Now, I've noticed Latin VFR's Miami and Fort Lauderdale scenery has an issue in P3D version 5. I'm not sure what it is, but portions of the scenery appears to be in the ground, and the runway and asphalt textures don't look the way they should. But anyway, so yeah, hotfix 2 for P3Dv4.5. It's been out for about a month. If you're on the fence, go ahead and get it. They fixed a lot of bugs surrounding GPUs, NVIDIA and AMD. My VR now works. It crashes a lot less. Some people still have issues. That dreaded device hung issue, but there is a registry fix for it. Look around in the groups on Facebook, the P3Dv4.5 group, or go ahead and search YouTube. You'll find it. It works very well. Alright, we need to be going north. And I've noticed in V5 the overall Orbix scenery simply looks a lot better. So hotfix 2 is not where it needs to be, or V5 is not yet where it needs to be, but it's a lot better than what was out there before. So go ahead and get it. And right now, from what I hear, P3D version 5.1 is on the horizon. Why? Well, Microsoft Flight Simulator is going to drop August 18th. That's the big buzz now. Everyone's upgrading their hardware, buying new computers, hotly anticipating the new simulator. There was this one guy, he got into the beta program and he recorded himself flying around in an A320, and he went ahead and published it to YouTube. So obviously he got kicked out of the program and the video was taken down. But the point he was trying to make is the simulator looked very arcadish, looked very Xboxy, and nothing serious for serious simmers. And I'm like, dude, Asobo and Microsoft, they're trying to reach the broadest audience possible. Some people like arcadey, you know what I'm saying? Some people like arcadey, so that's not a problem. Also, I've been seeing more and more videos on YouTube, sanctioned by Microsoft, I'm sure. The scenery is just simply out of the world, out of this world. The trees, the land textures, the weather, oh my goodness. You can actually, fly in stormy weather and see columns of rain out in the distance where it's raining. One thing I see that's going to happen is Orbix will still exist. They'll still have a business with X-Plane and Aerofly, and they can be doing airports for Microsoft Flight Simulator. But Microsoft Flight Simulator is going to put a lot of pressure on a lot of the add-on developers. For instance, ActiveSky. The native weather in Microsoft Flight Simulator is outstanding, so no need to buy ActiveSky. At some of the airports where they've put a lot of time and effort developing the scenery and the animation, making it living, breathing airport with a lot of folks walking around, moving around, they're putting that in 40 select airports. So there goes GSX. What else? A lot of good features are coming out of the box. So for a lot of third-party developers, they're gonna have to be creative or find something else. In addition, Microsoft is creating an add-on or third-party store for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So that'll give Sim Market a little bit of competition, but they sell all sorts of stuff, not just flight simulation. So it's going to be sold in 3 tiers: small, medium, and large, or basic, medium, and deluxe, or premium, or whatever. High-end one is going to be $120. It's all on the Microsoft Flight Simulation website. You can find all that information there. Also, they also released a list or an inventory of all the developers. I don't know where the hell I'm going. I'm just flying north. Of all the developers that are building content for Microsoft Flight Simulator. And that list is long and growing. It includes PMDG, 808 Simulations, a whole bunch of others. So we can expect a lot of third-party add-ons to drop at the same time when Microsoft Flight Simulator drops. VATSIM is already Microsoft Flight Simulator compatible. Microsoft Flight Simulator, by default, when you fire it up and use it, you're in multiplayer. You have to opt out to go offline. That's a good add. Furthermore, it goes out to the internet and it reads whatever aviation management database that keeps tracks of all flights in the world, and it injects that into the simulator. I think we have add-ons right now that will do that, but that comes out of the box with Microsoft Flight Simulator. You've all seen the scenery. It's just, can't say enough. Alright, so let me see, where the devil am I going? I need to be going to Fort Lauderdale. Alright, we're going north, so obviously the Atlantic Ocean is to the east, since we're in South Florida. All I have to do is just keep looking for, here's Opelika. Fort Lauderdale should be right north of there. I was just thinking, with the pandemic, a lot of people are having a hard time, unemployment. Some people need to change careers. Here's an opportunity, okay? If you're a developer, if you were a developer, or you would like to be a developer and you have the time, go out and sign up as a registered third-party developer with Microsoft Flight Simulator. Get the software developers kit, okay? Learn how to build airports. Like I said, they're tricking out by default faulty or so airports. Learn how to build airports, and all the small tiny airports, you know, in various parts of the country that won't have a lot of detail. Go ahead and get Google Earth, figure out how to develop third-party airports, start building them, putting them in the store, and who knows how much money you're gonna make. If you have the time, go ahead and do that. You get in on the ground floor with a new simulation platform, become part of the marketplace. Unfortunately, the word on the street is Flight Simulator is going to drop without track IR support, and it's going to drop without VR support. That's the official word on the street. I think Microsoft is going to take a cue from Apple's Steve Jobs, and they're going to surprise us with some sort of treat once this thing actually comes to market. I'm going to guess that the big surprise is it's going to support VR. Now, a lot of people have already placed their pre-order for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I have not done so, and I will not do so. Why? Because I've been simming in VR ever since I got my Quest to work. Once you start flight simulation in VR, it's very, very hard to go back. I mean, there's just no other way to do it. For me anyways. And until it supports VR, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stick with P3D for the short term. Another reason to stick with P3D for the short term is Lockheed Martin and X-Plane and all the other developers, they know that Microsoft Flight Simulator is going to come along and disrupt the market. So they're going to come out with some sort of goodies to hold on to their customers. Now, what are those goodies? How is P3D or X-Plane or Airfly, whatever, what are they going to bring to the market to hang on to us? I don't know. But I'm looking forward to it. If Lockheed Martin can make it so that when you're in VR, you're not just interfacing with the cockpit using the mouse as a dot, if it allows you to actually use the controllers to virtually reach out and tune the knobs, that's going to be a big win. Because right now, that's one of the biggest deficiencies with P3D. So I'm going to wait around for a little bit. I'm pretty sure 5.1 will have even more improvements. Now this thing right here, this is Flight 1's GTN 750. It's been out for a very, very long time. I only started using it because when you're in VR in P3D, all you have is a mouse. You don't have nothing, okay? So you have to keep peeking out of your headset if you want to look up or go on another computer to look up charts and frequencies and whatnot. This thingy right here, oh my goodness, it does so much. I mean, you know, you can see what airspace you're flying in. It has a transponder. It shows you traffic. It'll warn your traffic. It has a charts database. It has utilities. You can do flight planning. You can do fuel planning. You can time your flight. You can do customized checklists. There's so many things you can do in this thing. I wouldn't even know where to begin. Unfortunately, what it says it does for weather, it says, hey, you can go ahead and do weather, you can do Doppler radar. This is just for show. It really does not support weather, even if you do have a weather add-on, such as a Milviz weather add-on. It doesn't integrate with that, unfortunately. But everything else works, and it works very well. A word of warning with the GTN, all the charts and the frequencies, I want to say this is reading a real-world database because I found many instances where it conflicts with the frequencies within the stock simulator. So be careful with that. In this case, I'm flying toward Fort Lauderdale. All I have to do here is the ocean, just keep going up the coast. I want to say this is Fort Lauderdale airspace. You can also interface with this using the mouse. You can just drag. You can zoom in and zoom out. Here's Fort Lauderdale right here. And here's my plane right here. Go ahead and zoom in on my plane. There is so much that you can do with this. In this case, it's integrated into my cockpit dashboard. That's because A2A's Cessna Skyline supports that integration. I also fly the Extreme Prototype Learjet. That supports that integration also. A lot of planes do. Some planes don't. If that's the case, you can still use it. You just can't have the 3D cockpit integration, in which case this is available as a 2D window. And you can customize this interface as well. What's my altitude? Alright, need to get back up. A little bit too low for where I am. Give it a little bit of gas. I'm heading east towards the coast. Let's go ahead and go north. Now, as you can see, I'm making this flight with the old school 3D cockpit. As I said, I've been flying VR. One of the downsides to flying with VR is, especially in the P3D world, when you have the headset on, it's the difference between observing a simulation, such as this, and being in a simulation. Once you have the headset on, it encapsulates you. You become part of a virtual cockpit. It's just amazing what I see. What you see is a crappy version of this, which is the reason why I don't record anything in virtual reality. Airfly and X-Plane, their virtual reality interface is much better, much sharper, much more fluid, and a broader field of view than P3D. That's the reason why I was thinking Lockheed Martin knows that Microsoft might drop without virtual reality, and they may take advantage of that by improving the virtual reality interface within P3D. I think, let's go ahead and close my cowl flaps, the engine's a little bit cool. I think if they do that, it's going to be a while before a lot of people, or it's going to be a while before Microsoft Flight Simulator hits critical mass with a lot of simmers, simply because it currently lacks VR. Now, I don't know what percentage of the flight simulation community is not using virtual reality because headsets are still expensive. A lot of people put a lot of time and effort into, surrounding themselves with a million screens. And that's the thing. You can have big screen TVs and 2 or 3 monitors up the wazoo. That does not come close to sitting in a virtual cockpit with the headset on. So maybe 20% of the flight simulation community uses VR. Does that include DCS? I don't know. We'll have to see what the surveys say. But I think that's going to be the critical mass. That's going to be the deciding factor. Microsoft Flight Simulator will have a limited audience due to its price, its technical requirements, and the fact that it doesn't have track IR or VR support officially. I think it might drop with VR, in which case I'm just going to go ahead and get it. What planes are going to be coming out with it? Who knows? PMDG, I'm willing to gamble the first plane they're going to bring over to the simulation platform to Microsoft Flight Simulator is going to be the 747. And if you thought that Microsoft Flight Simulator Premium Edition was expensive at $120, wait until you see what PMDG is going to charge. Them bastards are greedy. I know. The Microsoft Flight Simulation version is going to be pretty expensive. Oh Lord, PMDG. I love the 747. It's just that, sometimes you just can't help but beat up on them. Alright, I want to say that's Fort Lauderdale. Let's take a look. Yep, 2 parallel runways. There is 595 right there. Let's go ahead and get the ATIS, and let me show you how cool this thing is. So you're going to go back. And then you're going to go to charts. It already has Fort Lauderdale in there, thank goodness. That's from a flight I did yesterday. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to find the ATIS. The ATIS frequency is probably already tuned in. 135. No, it's not. 135. There we go. As I said, I'm running a stock Orbix weather. This is not dynamic weather. Winds 10. Temperature 3027. Blah 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 blah. Runway 28 and 28. Left and right. Alright, so this is my old stomping ground. Here's A1A. Here's a beach. There's a gas-fired power plant right here. There are no cruise ship ports in Fort Lauderdale. Not here, I don't think. A whole bunch of hotels. There's Sunrise Boulevard, Broward Boulevard, Commercial Boulevard, Oakland Park Boulevard, and Atlantic Boulevard, all the way going up north. And A1A here goes all the way down to Miami down here. Let's go ahead and tune this. By the way, the GTN 750 from Flight One, this cost about $65. I didn't realize its capabilities, which is why it took as long as it did for me to get it. That said, hotfix 2. All of my favorite planes are now released for this. That includes all of the A2A StudySim GA aircraft, Extreme Prototype Learjet. That also came out. The Mad Dog is now version 5 compatible with shared cockpit. TFDI's add-on manager and their 717 is in beta. That's also available. CRJ's 700 and 900 from Aerosoft and Digital Aviation, that's also available. PMDG 747 is available. I don't know about, let me go ahead and get my turn. I don't know about the 737. I think they're still working on that. Lead awesome speed, one notch of flaps. Okay, I can go ahead and make my turn. And what's interesting is since I started flying in VR, I have not been flying tube liners at all. I've been spending all of my time flying general aviation aircraft, primarily this one. Why? Because when you're flying in VR, everything is just so real that you get engrossed in it, and you imagine you're doing the real thing. I find myself doing a lot of things flying in VR that I don't normally do when I fly like this, such as observing airspace, computing my fuel, how much I'm using, how much I have, how much I need, that kind of stuff. I find myself doing a lot of things, good flying habits, good flying discipline that I was not doing when I fly like this. I think I'm going to go in on that other runway. There's a plane taking off from this runway here. Let me see if there's anybody over here. I could call the tower and request to land. See, I'd have done that if I was in VR, but anyway. Alright, I'll go ahead and land on this other runway here. Alright, let's go ahead and give it a second notch of flaps. Winds are 007, so I have a little bit of a crosswind, so I'll just go ahead and keep it at 2 notch. I won't bother landing with flaps all the way down. Alright, I can go ahead and make my turn. Keep it 500 feet per minute. These runways are at least 10,000 feet, so I have plenty of working room. The old Miami scenery, I think it was Drzecki Design, I don't recall which one it was, but it was horrible, so I uninstalled those and went with Latin VFR. And at night, all this looks absolutely fantastic. Oh my goodness, my computer's run out of memory. Please select P3D and select. Oh wow, it says it's run out of memory, but I can still control it. So let me see if I can still land this thing. I have 16 gigs of RAM. I don't know what the devil's going on. I want to say that OBS is still running, in which case it's still recording all of this stuff. So let me see what I can do. I don't want to click OK yet and this thing crash. And what's interesting is I don't have anything else running. I'm not sure why it's doing this. And I'm not even sure if I can land, because for all I know the plane isn't even in. Huh, how about that? Didn't think my plane existed. Alright, so this is a learning experience. I'm pretty sure I don't have anything else running. Let's go ahead and stop. So it looks like I've run out of available GPU memory. Let's see here. My operating system is still up and running. OBS is still up and running, so this is very, very interesting. I don't want to lose the recording, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and then click OK here, because obviously it's going to crash out of P3D. Let me just check one more thing. I don't have anything else running. So how is it I ran out of memory is beyond me. Let's check something here. Okay, I can't do Shift Z, so I don't know how much VRAM I have. This is a very interesting experience. Anyway, hopefully I won't be having this problem anymore. I have a new computer which I'll be simming from. I hope to get a video up from that new computer in the next couple of weeks. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and do a quick unboxing of my new computer, compare it to my existing computer, show you that video also. I don't want to lose this recording because it's been almost half an hour, so very, very interesting. This is what happens when you run out of memory. Anyway, it is what it is. My name is Flightsimguy. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.